Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Tech Beans, wherein we cover the latest technology trends. Today, we are going to talk about the technological advancements in the insurance sector. The use of technology in the insurance industry, just like any other industry, has seen exponential growth in the past decade. Insurance companies are using technology to gain an edge over the competition. To discuss this bit in detail, we have today with us Mr. Advait Mone, who's Manager COE and Delivery Engagement at Clover Infotech. Just before we start the discussion with Advait, a bit of quick introduction. So Advait has over 15 years of experience across industry verticals such as life insurance, banking. He has majorly worked in insurance domain with reputed organizations such as SBI Life Insurance, HDFC Life, and Max Life Insurance. So thanks for joining us for a chat, Advait, today. How are you doing?
Thank you, Sushant. All good, all good. How are you doing?
Great. I'm doing fine as well. Thank you. So just before we begin, Advait, so you have been a part of this industry for quite a while now. So before we move on or jump on to the questions directly, can you just tell us a bit about your journey so that the audience knows you well, and then we can maybe start with the question answers?
Sure. Back in 2008, I got a chance to work with Max New York Life. It happened by accident because the privatization had happened in the year 2001 for insurance in India. It was post the LIC and when IRDA was formed. So Max New York Life, at that time, New York Life of US was a partner, and I got a chance to work into the business side of that. So as I said earlier as well, it happened as an accident. But then because of the trainings that I got through New York Life directly, my interest automatically and gradually grew in life insurance industry. And I was working in the agency channel at that time as a business development manager, and also worked briefly as a training manager, training the agents and people alike. In fact, the employees as well on the new products, any changes in the products which came through the IRDA, which is the regulator. So that was an interesting journey of around 2.5 years, and then moved into the technology side of it as a business analyst, as a project manager, as you mentioned, with some of the industry giants in my probably recent stints.
Okay, that sounds great. So Advait, so you have been, you have worked with some of the leading insurance companies, and traditionally it is known that insurance sector has been a slow adapter of technology as compared to the other industries. So although they're adapting to the new technology, though people say that when it comes to insurance sector, maybe because of the compliance issues or other challenges that they have, they are considered to be slow adapters of technology. And you have been a part of this industry for over a decade now. So can you tell us a comparison between when you started, how the industry was functioning, and now with the increasing adoption of digital? How do you see this space changing, and what are the trends over here?
Well, certainly. Back in the, I would say the first 10 years of the insurance industry, it was into a very nascent stage. After the privatization and the foreign investors slowly but cautiously coming into India. So basically, in India, traditionally, it is a very much under-penetrated sector here in India as compared to other developed countries like US or the entire Europe for that matter. Probably we still have a long way to go because earlier it was only the LIC, Life Insurance Corporation of India, just to name the company. But now a lot of market has been taken over by very big private life insurance players like HDFC Life or ICICI Prudential, specific to life insurance, if I would say. But as I said, we still have a long way to go. And earlier it was a predominantly agent-driven model wherein most of the things used to happen manually. You used to visit the customer, fill up the forms, then that form would go for a scrutiny called underwriting. If the person is falls under the valid category, only then he would be given an insurance for that matter, that too at a premium. So there were many factors. Now most of the things are becoming paperless, wherein agents are being given handheld devices, wherein whenever they meet customers, they just feed in the data in their handheld device, and that gets directly captured in the systems of the insurance companies at the end of the day, probably through a batch run or something of that sort. Basically, we have a lot of opportunity to penetrate because the rural market still lacks digital, digital enhancements in technology. So there is a lot of area of improvement over there. So compared to the earlier endowment products, we now have a lot of new products coming up like ULIPs, which are invested in markets. I mean, the money invested by the customers is always invested in the stock markets, and then you get a lot of returns from that, along with the insurance cover. So also there are government schemes like Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana, which provides a 2 lakh cover at a paltry premium of around 12 rupees per annum. I think most of us would already be getting a cover from that as our savings bank account, or the banks where we have our savings account generally deduct this premium annually. So that covers, I think, what I had to say. Now, as we move towards 2025, there are very much, interesting technologies adopted by insurance. So let's.
So in fact, that is our next question. So now that you have explained that how the insurance, how there is an increasing use of insurance, okay, by across India, be it rural India also. Okay, so how, what is helping this change? So is technology playing a key role over here? Because so before this, the internet wasn't there. Maybe a decade ago, the internet penetration across India wasn't that much. But with the increasing use of smartphones and more telecom players coming into play, like Jio, so now that internet penetration has gone up. So is this also helping the penetration of insurance policies? And plus, in addition to that, what are the other technologies that are helping this growth? So if you can throw some light on that, I think that will be great for our audience.
Sure, certainly. So one most important point over here is like life insurance. I would particularly speak on the life insurance domain per se. So life insurance, every human being requires life insurance for probably around 3 to 4 or maybe even 5 to 6 stages of his life, starting from when he starts earning. He gets married, he gets a family, he gets his children, then for his retirement, then for his children's education. So everything is lined up, and now the customers have actually most of the customers of the younger generation, you could say, are already educated and thoroughly knowledgeable on the insurance. Unlike our previous generations, that why do I need to invest so much money in insurance, or what are the kind of returns that I would be getting? So this was just an example wherein the transformation is happening. And it is also because of the privatization, wherein a lot of marketing activities are happening towards educating and informing the customers or the population in India overall per se by the companies. So a lot of efforts are being taken. So IT, obviously, as probably the number of customers are increasing exponentially, you also need to be technologically sound to be able to support that much of growth, sudden growth, I would say, in the number of customers. So things like probably RPA, which is robotics process automation, or probably telematics. Telematics is again used universally for the vehicle insurance domain, you could say, which comes under general insurance in India. And it is still at a nascent stage in India, though. and also the variables. So for now, I would probably focus on the RPA, or the what you say, automation part of it, wherein majorly the automation has helped a lot in the what you say, in the modules of claims processing, the policy management, entire the policy administration systems, right from the proposal to handing over the policy to the customer. So there are a lot of steps involved wherein the manual efforts are actually reduced by using automation, and automation is being done by using different tools. I would probably name a few, like Blue Prism, for example, is one of the important and worldwide used tool for automation. Also, then regulatory compliance requirements keep on changing continuously with the new threats or with the new requirements issued by the IRDA, who is the regulatory body for insurance in India. So to keep up to the pace, a lot of automation throughout the year and year on year are being done by insurance companies. And LIC, for that matter, is no longer behind. It is trying to keep up its pace with the rest of the private life insurance players in India. We have almost around 25 to 26 life insurance players in India. Again, there is an underwriting which happens at the beginning of the proposal or the life cycle of the insurance policy, wherein when a customer thinks of buying an insurance, the first stage is he's given a proposal. Probably he signs a proposal wherein a certain sum assured is given to him on payment of certain premium amount. But whether he is eligible for that much of cover, life insurance cover, is being judged by a method called as underwriting. So there are financial underwritings, and there is another couple of types of underwritings which are being done at the insurance company's end. And automation has helped in giving through a STP, which is a straight through processing, instead of putting it into the manual bucket. Some of the cases which fall under the STP module are given straight ahead for the next team, or they fall into the next team's bucket, which is into the operations bucket. So all this has been of a good help overall to the Indian insurance industry. And yes, we are growing by the day.
Okay, so basically you're saying that with the increasing use of mobile and with the increasing penetration of internet, I think that is helping to create awareness about insurance. That is the first part. And second part is that now with the increasing awareness about insurance, so more and more people are taking up the policies. There are technologies like you said, that there is automation in place which helps the onboarding process, or maybe the initial screening process, or maybe the claim settlement also. So over there also there will be a lot of manual paperwork that insurance companies had to do earlier. Now with the help of automation or RPA, so to call it, I think that process is being automated, and that is helping the organization save time. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely, that's right. One more thing just to add to this is a big data platform wherein basically analytics is used, and through several permutations and combinations, the underwriting as well as the claim teams are well informed about the risks. Or of recent, I mean, there is a fraud called as dead man insurance, wherein a person is already dead, but the claimants of that dead person go to different companies and using his documents try to buy another insurance. So through a big data analytics solution, this has been come to light. So these kinds of frauds have been, helping the insurance companies to save their costs.
Okay, so it also helps in fraud, identifying the fraud then. So automation helps there as well. And also, so like insurance sector is a heavily regulated sector, right? So there is IRDA in place. And so basically this automating the processes that minimizes the human intervention, and that obviously improves the accuracy which also helps in compliance. So is that, I mean, do you also see this benefit that how automation is helping in with this regard? Is
Certainly,
that also an
certainly.
added advantage of automation? Great.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. So, another thing, so like at the start of the video, we said that insurance sector, traditionally, it is a slow adopter of technology. Okay. But now, I think this, with the increasing adoption of digital, that is one factor. And second is there are a lot of insurtech players which are coming up. And I think that is creating a serious challenge, or maybe, as so to say, a threat of competition which is there, that is forcing that the other big players to adopt technology more. So can you throw some light on that as well? That which are, I mean, if you can name a few players and how they are changing this space.
Sure, yeah. So just to name a few, there is a company called Lemonade, which uses blockchain technology to settle claims at a very fast rate. Generally, settling claims is a very tedious a job or a task, and the claimants are also very much in need of that money. The sooner the better for them, because they are relying upon that money heavily, most of them. From there, I mean, it's only the sole bread earner who has lost his life, and the family entirely is dependent on that. So this is one such company which helps in settling the claims at a very fast rate using blockchain technology. Another which comes to my mind is Zongan. Again, it's just like a short distance travel insurance, I would say. It provides insurance for a small cab ride, for example. Thereby, it creates micro level insurance. And this is probably slowly coming up in India, but because other developed countries, as I said, we are still very much under penetrated. We are less than probably, if you say throughout the country. I am not very keen to give out the percentage, but all the data is available on the website of RDA. But we are too low penetrated, and yes, but we are growing because of the technology and increasing use of technology. So that's about it. And one more company, which is again globally very much sound, is LexisNexis Risk Solutions. It's a big data platform company. It's having its own big data platform called HPCC, High Performance Computing Cluster, which creates an algorithm using the business books of the companies, insurance companies across the country. And through that algorithm, they probably help the insurers to understand the risks at the time of underwriting, wherein they onboard a new customer, and also at the time of settling the claims. If there are any multiple claims with across the insurance companies, then through this model or this algorithm or this product or solution, they are probably having an insight of that particular case.
Okay, so basically, so these are some of the innovative products, like what you said is a travel insurance. So generally, when we take a travel insurance, when we book a trip from, let's say, Make My Trip or TripAdvisor, they recommend a travel insurance. But this is interesting, like what you said is a travel insurance for a short cab ride. Now that is an interesting product. So maybe these insurtech players are bringing in this new innovative product, which is, I mean, which is why they are becoming quite popular. So like you mentioned earlier, so which are the new technologies that are being used? So they are using automation. Also, what we have heard is there are players who are using telematics, okay, and insurance products are being bundled around that. So can you talk a bit about that? Because that seems to be one exciting space wherein we see a lot of international players that are active, but in India, I mean, we believe that the adoption is not yet there, but it can be one of the trends to watch out for, let's say by within the next 2 or 3 years. So can you talk a bit about telematics here? So because that is one interesting aspect, right?
Certainly, telematics is basically helpful in the use of vehicle insurance. and it is predominantly very much existent. Again, through the player which I mentioned was LexisNexis. It is one of the strong players in the US markets, and they kind of use the driver information data to derive at the premium or the risk what you say attached to that particular driver of that vehicle. So accordingly, the premiums are defined depending on his driving ability, driving skills, the number of tickets that he has got for jumping signal or speeding or over speeding. Depending on that, his genuinity or safety is calculated and derived at, and then probably when he comes for a renewal, that data is being used to derive at his new premium. So this is just one example which I thought of sharing with you. There are a lot of things, and India again, still the rural areas need to adopt. Probably we need a centralization process or wherein the data flows in. Now we have got M-Parivahan or RTO, for example, apps from where you can see your challans, when your PUC is expiring. So we are, which is available at the, on your mobile itself. So similarly,
right.
So we are slowly moving towards digitization, complete digitization of insurance. This is also one kind of insurance, so that when your PUC is going to expire, when your insurance is going to expire, vehicle insurance. So this gives you information on the go.
Right. So I think this is the biggest advantage of I think digital, because with digital, the organizations have access to such a lot of data, and using that data, then they can come up with innovative products. So like we just spoke about the use of telematics. I think insurance companies are using those to launch usage with insurance products. So say for example, depending upon, so if you're driving a vehicle, you have a car insurance, so they will fit a gadget or device in your car, and then depending upon your driving pattern, they analyze that how risky is the driver, and depending upon that, then the insurance premium is calculated. And also, like you mentioned, the wearables. So if someone is using, let's say, a fitness band, so whatever data is being gathered with that band, insurance companies are using that data to arrive at a health insurance premium for that particular user.
Absolutely.
Right. So that's how it is working, right? And that's what I think is driving the growth in the insurance sector. So Advait, I think this has been, so now we have a good understanding of how this technology is being used in the insurance sector. So lastly, we have a lot of tech professionals who are following us, so tech enthusiasts rather. So we have a huge social media following. There are some people who are following our YouTube channel as well. And so can you give some advice to them if they wish to make a career, especially in the insurtech domain? So maybe any sources of information that they can refer to, or any courses. Can you guide them if they want to make a career in this space?
Absolutely, absolutely. So coming to your question, I mean, to answer your question, there are two parts to it, or two sides to it. One is on the domain side, if you want to get good experience, and other one is the technology side. So I would more focus on the domain side first. There are institutes like Indian Insurance Institute of, Insurance Institute of India. Then there is LOMA, which is Life Office Management Association, which is an organization or a body based out of US. So they provide you a lot of certifications across insurance, not just life insurance, but different types of insurances. This would give you more understanding on the insurance domain per se. And from the technology side, yes, you need to be well versed with with the latest technology. So currently, I would say is automation, which is in boom from last few years, last 4 or 5 years. So you need to understand different technologies. And I would say Google is the best source. I mean, you get everything on Google. But apart from that, if you want to, focus on any particular thing, then for now, it's the automation part, using different tools. most of the companies are going for automation of their various manual processes, which is helping them to reduce a lot of cost. And hence, the technology guys are in demand, not just in the banking, but now also into the insurance sector.
Okay, great. So just to quickly recap, I think Advait, so what you have covered is how the technology, or rather to begin with, how the internet penetration is helping to create awareness, which is most important for adoption of any product or any services. After that awareness is being created, I think technology is being used by insurance players, technology such as RPA predominantly, for various purposes like onboarding, the initial screening, whatever compliance related issues, whatever, to identify maybe some fraud, which I mean, the percentage is significantly higher when it comes to the insurance sector. The percentage of frauds are very higher, and which is why technology plays a key role over here, and that is how it is helping the insurance players to quickly gain the market share. So I think now we have good understanding of how companies are leveraging these newest technologies to achieve higher customer satisfaction level, also to achieve more and more market share.
Yeah.
So thanks again for your time, Advait.
Yeah, thank you, Sushant, for this opportunity, and I hope all the listeners and viewers get benefited out of this discussion.
Definitely, Advait. So we hope all of you have enjoyed this discussion as well. Stay tuned for more such interesting discussions and informative videos. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you.